Hey, how's it going? I was challenged by Rohan over at Absolute Game of Nerds, which is his tag handle is um, Back in the Game Comics. So I was really super stoked to try to prepare what I was going to do for my top five books that I wanted to showcase. That I believe is undervalued, and he challenged me to do my ASM collection top five. I feel like undervalued and maybe in monetary, but also attention and speculation. I think it should be worth a lot more than what it is. So here's my first book here, and this is not going through like five to the top one. I'm just going to go through sequentially through the ASM books I feel like should get more recognition. So what I got here is ASM 31, and this bad boy is the first appearance of not one or two, but three characters, which is very not talked about a lot. So, I mean, the two characters is very common, but the third character is not as popular out there. So we have here the first appearance of Gwen Stacy with this funky cover. Now, this book, believe it or not, this used to be a lot of books. These books will be a lot more valued. Like almost all comic books, right, are kind of their value has gone down. But this book, in this grade, this was valued around 400 to 500. But now I can get this book roughly around 120 is the most recent purchase. And this is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy and the first appearance of Harry Osborn. And the third character is the first appearance of Dr. Miles Warren. And for all you Spidey fans, this is a huge deal because eventually Dr. Miles Warren will become the Jackal, which we don't get revealed until issue ASM 149. But the Jackal's first appearance again shares with another famous first appearance issue is ASM 129, which is the first appearance of Frank Castle, the Punisher. So I believe this issue is very underutilized for those three first appearances, and the value has really dropped. So I feel like this is still very good to pick up at such a great price and a huge key in Amazing Spider-Man's history. The next book I want to showcase isn't as expensive, but it has huge potential. I believe in Spider-Man's like rogue gallery and history, it shares a really common like um, path as Batman. You have Spider-Man with all his rogue villains, right? The villain rogue gallery is huge. So those two characters really share that kind of commonality and very funky characters, right? You have these weird names that stick out, like Hammerhead is one, right? So here's my next book that's underutilized, undervalued, I believe, is ASM 130. This is actually right after 129, which is a big book. Issue 130, because this book actually is the first appearance of the Spider-Mobile. What's cool about this is that we have never seen the Spider-Mobile on film, but we've seen it on the cartoons in the 90s, right? And I mean, this is really sitting on a pretty good speculation path because with the rumors of having Spider-Man come back in Disney Plus because of the popularity of X-Men 97, this is a huge possibility. And this book right now, you can get this for fairly in this similar grade in a very fine, this is like 51 bucks in the most recent sale. But I believe this has so much room to grow. Mid-grade, you can get something for like 30 bucks. It's a very affordable key book for the first appearance of the Spider-Mobile. And if you remember, all the books that Batman has, right? The Batmobile is a huge key of his whole history. I believe Spider-Man, not as crazy to have in terms of his history with the Spider-Mobile, but it's a very quirky, fun first appearance that has potential because it could be showing down the line with the new trilogy coming out. Who knows? But I mean, down the road, one day we're going to see this on film, some funny way to introduce this first appearance. So I feel like this is worth it. Oh, and it also has this, I think this is the first cover of Jackal. I don't know, I forget. But there's Jackal right there in the back. So yeah, I think this is the first cover appearance of Jackal because his first appearance is 129, right, with the Punisher. So this book right here has great potential to grow because of the Spider-Mobile possibility on film, and it also has the first cover of Jackal. So this is a great book to get if you're a Spider-Man fan. My next book now jumps back to a more higher dollar value comic, and it's one of my favorites that I have multiple copies because I love this character, and the cover alone is Amazing Spider-Man 194, first appearance of Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. So this book has so much room. It's gone down a lot, from pandemic times. So it's great to pick it up at such an affordable price. This one right now, roughly, this is like a $179 value for a very fine 8.0. But for this range, this should be worth, I would say, 400, 500 back, when the pandemic times and it's really hot. This has so much room to grow because this could be a huge character down the line because she's such a hot character. And she's during the time when he was a bachelor, he was always bouncing between Mary Jane and Felicia Hardy, and even the cartoon it showed that whole vibe and chemistry between Peter Parker and his character. So this has so much room to grow. I feel like if you can get this, you should add this to your personal collection because Black Cat is always a great commodity character for Amazing Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And this book was rising so much during that time when her monthly series was coming out. So this is a great book to grab because her character is so great. Like I said, I love this book so much. I have some variants. I have 2 copies of Newsstand. I have 2 copies of Direct Edition. And not to brag, but they're also the super hard to find variant that has this error on the top corner. So this error was like, they say it's roughly a few hundred copies were printed before the printer was that saw the mistake. So this is a very hot book. Let alone this variant is pretty hard to find. It's hard to find this in the streets, but I have 2 copies, and this is the. You can tell with the direct edition on the Black Cat one, it has that strike through in a UPC barcode, and that's the only difference you can tell between a newsstand and a direct edition. And mind you, during this era, 1977, right? 79, sorry, 79. This book is harder to find than the newsstand, believe it or not, because the print run is a lot lower. I mean, mind you, it's probably sold at comic stores, or direct copies, but it's harder to find this out there. So I believe this is a really good book to add to your collection, Amazing Spider-Man 194. Another book I wanted to showcase, now we're jumping to sequentially, right? So my next book, number 4 here, is Amazing Spider-Man 299. And you guys might laugh, but I believe this is the next Incredible Hulk 180 just sitting there in the wings. Okay, so obviously this is not a Wolverine first appearance like popularity, but Venom is still a popular character, and I believe this has so much more room to grow. Right now, this book in a similar condition, you get this for like a 9.4 for $2.99. You get it for like $75 to $85 recent sales. And then this should be around the 125 range, I believe. So I feel like this has so much room to grow for a near mint. And I have 2 copies. I love this book so much because it's the first full appearance of Venom. I've got a direct and newsstand edition. But this copy right here, as you guys know, it has that full appearance of Venom in the last splash page. The splash page at the end showcases the full, scope of Venom in his suit with a huge black costume and a huge black white symbol in the middle. And even Tom McFarlane himself has stated that he considers this the first full appearance. And if you guys remember, in 298, it's just a quick cameo with some newspaper clippings and showing his fist smashing and symbiote wrapping around his fist, and you finally see the full scope of his gruesome grin and his muscular, tall, muscular body, just like all grimacing at Mary Jane when she walks in the door. She thinks it's Peter Parker. So I believe this book is great to own and it's undervalued. The last one I want to showcase for undervalued for Amazing Spider-Man would be this one right here. Not only it's another McFarlane book, but what can you guys guess here? Besides a cool cover, and as a teenager, I always loved this book because the fact that two cool villains of Spider-Man is duking it out on the cover, I always thought it was pretty cool. Honestly, it's an Inferno crossover during that era, and it has right over here, I don't know if the camera will auto zoom, I doubt it, but right over here is a scroll signature of McFarlane. And this is the first time McFarlane has done this illustrated scroll in any of his Spider-Man covers, as Amazing Spider-Man. Now you look at his books after this Amazing Spider-Man 312, this scroll is synonymous in all his covers in Amazing Spider-Man after 312 and in the following solo series, 1990, Spider-Man #1 and on. And it's been all over most of his books after this, Amazing Spider-Man 312. So this has a lot of room to grow. Right now, this book, I think you can get a decent copy, which is amazingly, I looked up in recent sales here in August 2024. You can get a near mint for like 12 bucks, and I saw another sale for like $29. So it's a huge gap. But I feel like this book here has so much more room to grow. It's rarely talked about because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is such a cool cover, right? Goblin and Green Goblin and Hobgoblin going at it. But it's the first time using the Todd McFarlane scroll that he did on his covers. I think as a Todd McFarlane fan, you got to put this on your list to own, and you can get it at an affordable price. So that's my list. I believe you can get these a pretty good deal from the real affordable to the real semi-expensive. If you want to get one of these bigger keys, you know, and that first appearance of the Spider-Mobile, these are pretty affordable. And this bad boy here, I feel like, is the next Incredible Hulk 180. It's you know, that's a stretch. It might be a stretch. You guys might be laughing, but it's such a great book because of that first full appearance. And Tom McFarlane himself is saying that's the first full appearance of Venom. And that's it. Thank you guys, and hopefully I'm tagging the next folks here. I'm tagging Read Your Comics, my buddy over there in Instagram, YouTube world, and also I'm tagging Derunk Comics. We share the same like fun collecting on the Clone Saga. And he has a goal of trying to collect 9/8 of the whole Clone Saga, which is really typical. That's like 2.5 years of books. So I'm not sure how he's doing on that run, but that was his goal. And I have the full run as well on that. On top of my full ASM collection, I went after all the crossovers of Clone Saga. So D-Run Comics, I'm tagging you, and last but not least, I'm tagging Harris Family Harris Family Hobbies. So John, check out his channel too as well. It's a fun little hokey family adventures that he posts, and he's also a big Spidey fan. So there you go, and hopefully you guys can, you know, take the torch and see what you guys come up with your most undervalued comics. All right, thanks for checking out my channel, and we'll see you there.